Hello! Welcome to yet another review on the Nautical Lariat channel, and today I will be reviewing Captain America Brave New World. So, without further ado, as Chris Van Vliet would say, let's start this audio adventure. And, as you can tell, I am not physically on the screen in any way, shape, or form. Well, unless if I put a little tiny picture of me on the screen so you guys know what I look like and who I am. Oh, yep, there I am. As you can see, I am toying around with some different technical approaches to both filmmaking, storytelling, and videography, including voiceover work. So, let me know what you guys think of this style of video. Also, this will be a spoiler review. I shall repeat that one more time. A spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie and don't want to be spoiled, go watch something else. But if you don't care about that sort of stuff, and let's face it, the movie has been out for about 2 weeks anyways, then by all means, kick back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, on with the review. Okay, let's start off with the good thoughts. I try to stay optimistic, so I apologize if I'm stretching the truth a bit on some of these statements. I'm really trying to be nice, but yeah, let's get started. Anthony Mackie was incredibly charismatic, and you can tell that he truly cares about the character of Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, aka Captain America, aka Captain Falcon. He's actually not Captain Falcon, don't call him that. He takes the responsibility of being Captain America incredibly seriously, and you can also tell this by both his performance in the movie and especially through the interviews and the behind the scenes content on YouTube. If you go look at any of the press and publicity about this movie, whenever him or any of the castmates are doing interviews, he is phenomenal. You can tell that he truly loves his job and he truly loves the work that he's doing. Speaking of his castmates, Harrison Ford showed up to work. As an 82-year-old legend, he truly put a lot behind the iteration of Thunderbolt Ross. Originally, he was just a power-hungry military dude, but they actually added some depth to him. You actually saw a little bit more emotion behind this iteration of Thunderbolt Ross. So it was great to see Harrison Ford, lace up those boots and get to work. I would also like to add that there were some really cool stunts and visuals, especially with the new Wakandan suit. I must also add that conceptually, they were great stunts and great visuals. Sometimes the imagination was a little bit better than what we actually saw. My favorite stunt in the entire movie was probably when Captain America, Sam Wilson, sliced through a car as Red Hulk threw it at him. I thought that was probably the coolest thing in the movie. I also truly enjoyed and had fun with the idea that the movie was addressing the Incredible Hulk and the giant celestial island and even adamantium. That's super cool. They were pretty much just trying to tie up loose ends and building off of them in a new way to try to push the MCU forward, which I have to give them credit for, doing that and at least trying to go towards another arc instead of just, rambling for the last 5 years like they've been doing. And adding on to that, you can actually see that they're actually steering the MCU series as a whole in a direction unlike so many of the other directionless one-shot films. And, one-shots are good from time to time, but I like having an idea on where the movies are going, or else you're just kind of doing these directionless nothing films. So props to this film for actually trying to strive and drive towards something. Alright, let's go over some of the more middle of the road okay thoughts that I had. New Falcon was alright. Danny Ramirez is a good enough actor, but man did they give him some annoying stuff and over the top material in this movie. He was a bit annoying to say the least, but all in all it was just okay and he was alright. Isaiah Bradley, played by Carl Lumbly, was also just alright for the most part. I think he was a lot better used in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, but here it just seemed like a missed opportunity to do more with the actual character. And a lot of the action scenes were just decent. They weren't good, they weren't really bad either, they were just mediocre. On top of this, Sidewinder was underutilized, but when he was on screen he was still a great villain. Giancarlo Esposito is too good of an actor to be utilized in this capacity, and when he was on screen, like I said, it was good, but the lack there of him is why this is just okay at best. Red Hulk was pretty cool to see, but the fight was just alright. I think the fight was alright, but the fact that we got to see a big angry Hulk in the MCU again kind of redeemed this, and on top of that, just get rid of Smart Hulk. Like, we don't need Smart Hulk anymore. And finally, there were some really good and genuine pieces of dialogue from time to time in this movie, which was surprising, but like I said, only from time to time. Okay, we're done with the good. We've plowed through the okay. Let's rapid fire these bad notes. Count it down with me, boys and girls. 3, 2, 1. Go! There wasn't a clear message or moral of the story. There were slight personal growth moments, but they were both short one-scene moments, typically resolved through dialogue or off-screen events, and they were also just few and far between. So many good ideas to explore with Sam as the new Captain America, and with Ross as President of the United States, focusing on the humanity of these characters and the struggles and the growth that comes with the struggles usually makes for a better film than just bang, bang, punch, punch. And there were inklings of this, but not to the point of carrying the plot with a central moral or meaning. Those inklings were also forced dialogue moments, not actions or organic moments of dialogue. They were just very generic and on the nose. Okay, Bucky Barnes, how about you help out? You literally were brainwashed before. You understand this sort of thing. This should be public knowledge for everyone too within the MCU that brainwashing is a thing. Like, let Isaiah go. The dude was clearly innocent. You literally have another super soldier that is running for Congress that this has happened to him. So why is this such a big deal? The overall film felt hollow. You can tell that this movie went through several reshoots, several script changes, rewrites, directors, the whole shebang. And on top of this, there were too many different ideas put into this film that none of them felt fleshed out enough to be truly good or used to their fullest potential. All of the different aspects of the main plot and side plots felt surface level at best. The writing and the dialogue at times, well actually most of the time, felt really forced and on the nose, and ultimately very weak. Oh god. The green screen and effects were just awful in this movie, and that is really bad because they made up about 75% of the entire movie, which is really unfortunate. I know everyone is trying their best with everything going on, and this movie had all the reshoots, but Marvel just got in their own way on this one. It's just really not good. Okay, let's get into the antagonists of the film. The leader was just not a good villain. He was incredibly cartoony. He had to have been a completely new addition to the movie in the reshoots or added in post or something, but Tim Blake Nelson did a good enough job with what he was given, but still just not the best villain. Several plot holes, or lack thereof, of a good plot. The movie doesn't flow. It goes from one point to the next by using exhibition dumping, and not even in a inconspicuous dialogue or monologue sort of way. They just do it very on the nose, straightforward sort of way. And man, the post credits was so open-ended, ambiguous, uneventful, and so just nothing that I rather would have had just not had the scene at all than to have this scene. It was such a nothing scene, which is worse than nothing. And also, the final scene between Sam and Falcon in the hospital was just so over the top emotional for no reason. It felt so unnatural and just so awkward that it was just a really odd way to end your movie. And also, the final fight between Hulk and Cap was just decent. But what really just made it not good was the talking down portion that Sam was trying to talk down Hulk from freaking out. He was trying to talk down Thunderbolt Ross. If there was a time to actually do a Liv Tyler Betty Ross cameo, it would have been in this scene. To do the, oh hey big guy, sun's getting real low. That would have been the scene. It is not as memorable or believable when it's Sam talking down Thunderbolt Ross. Like, it should have been Betty Ross, his daughter, talking him down. Not Sam, who he famously dislikes for the last decade. Maybe this is just the old man in me, but a part of me wants to blame AI for the bad writing, but I have to assume that it was all just the rewrites and the reshoots that made the script so bad. So AI, you get a pass on this one, or just the edit. In which case, I have to assume that they did the best they could with what they had, and from what the studio was telling them to do. I just want to say that there has to be a better edit of this film. Take all the shots filmed, both pre and post reshoots. I just have to believe that there's a possibility of a better movie here. You know, an idea of a better movie. Maybe Seth Rollins is actually in that movie, or maybe Sidewinder is actually the main antagonist in that movie, or maybe a better Red Hulk scene, maybe one that isn't, you know, spoiled in the entire trailer and promotional for the movie. And finally, this is just a little bit of a final nail in the coffin here, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier was just a better entire project, series over this film. Do you really need to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier before this movie? No, not really. There's maybe some parts of the movie that it doesn't work without seeing it, but there are also some points that you can get by with. Yeah, I really can't wait for Thunderbolts to come out. They probably should have just had Sam be the co-leader of the Thunderbolts with Bucky, which would have secretly been organized by Ross, whose nickname is literally Thunderbolt Ross. Ross literally wanted to form the Avengers in this movie. Like, it would have made so much more sense if that would have been the movie. Come on, Marvel. Okay, final thoughts. At the end of the day, we have to remember that the real demographic for these movies are not us. They're primarily kids. Yes, there are mature themes that do cater to an older demographic, but let's face it, these are superheroes. It's Marvel. I just hope that there's people out there that love this movie. I hope it does incredibly well at the box office, because all parties involved, like Anthony Mackie, deserve a good series of films. And above all else, I do hope there are some kids out there that grow up believing that this was their favorite superhero film. Nostalgia is one hell of a drug. I grew up loving Daredevil 2003, Ghost Rider with Nick Cage, and the two classic Fantastic Four films. You know what? I used to binge watch Batman and Robin, for crying out loud. So are they bad movies? Sure, in some regard, but they also were fun to watch for me as a kid. So I just hope there's kids out there that feel the same way about this movie that I did about those. Up on the screen, you can probably see my final grade. That if you agree with it, let me know in the comments. If you don't agree with it, let me know in the comments. And like, follow, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this review. Let me know what you guys think of this layout of a video. And until next time, have a great day. Savvy.
Whoa, Black Betty, bam-ba-lam. Whoa, Black Betty, bam-ba-lam. Black Betty had a child, bam-ba-lam. The damn thing